Thank you for joining us. Now, tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about the Nothing Democrat debate. But as far as the presidential race, not much has changed in terms of the ordering of the candidates in either party. But obviously, there's been a lot of rhetoric coming from a lot of the candidates about national security and what's going on. But as it relates to what went on in Paris, I was interviewed this morning and I was asked what came out. How would I describe that Democrat debate on Saturday night? Yes, we're going to talk more about it tomorrow. We're going to examine some of the questions that were asked, as well as some of the answers that were given by the three Democrat candidates. But the topic today is ISIS. And one of the things that many people have said, call it for what it is. But yet you have Democrats who are saying it doesn't matter what you call it. Yes, it does. And so they had a discussion about what they ought to call it. It reminded me, folks, of when I was detected with cancer 9 years ago. What if I had called it mild indigestion? Would I be here today, Shana B? If I just wanted to take some Rolaids and think it would go away? No.
Good point.
It does matter what you call it. And if you don't call evil what it is and fight it, you are not going to defeat it. Write that down, Shana B. By the way, we were in Jacksonville Saturday night for an event sponsored by our sister station, WOKV. It went very well. I want to thank everybody who attended. But when you look at what Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are saying about all of this, Hillary Clinton, she would not say radical Islam or Islamic extremism.
To root out the kind of radical jihadist ideology that motivates organizations like ISIS, a barbaric, ruthless, violent, jihadist terrorist group.
But she won't call, they won't call it that. See, when John Dickerson, the moderator of the debate, later followed up asking if she agreed with Marco Rubio that we are fighting radical Islam.
I don't think we're at war with Islam. I don't think we're at war with all Muslims. I think we're at war with jihadists who have...
Just to interrupt, he didn't say all Muslims. He just said radical Islam. Is that a phrase you don't...
I think that you can talk about Islamists who clearly are also jihadists, but I think it's not particularly helpful.
Why are you worried about political correctness? Why? I can tell you why, folks. She and other Democrats running for office think that it is going to pander some Muslims to vote for them because they are not saying all Muslims are jihadists. No one is saying that. But they want to tiptoe, not even through the tulips. Like that unfortunate misled young lady we talked about last Friday. They want to tip around the tulip field, loaded with landmines. And then when Bernie Sanders was asked if he still believes climate change is the greatest threat to our national security?
Absolutely. In fact, climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism.
If we have a listener who can connect the dots for me and tell me how climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism, I would love to hear your theory. You see, folks, the Democrats intentionally plan those debates at non-high viewer days and times. Saturday night on a football Saturday. They've got another one coming up on a Saturday before Christmas. Because they really don't want people, a lot of people, to see just how clueless the Democrat candidates are, to see just how out of touch they are with this war on the rest of the world that is being waged by ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other terrorist organizations. See, they probably knew by scheduling it for Saturday night that they were only going to get about an 8.5 million viewers. That's much less than even the CNBC debate. Certainly much less than the numbers they got on Fox. We have over 320 million people in this country. Number of voters we have exceeds maybe about 120 million people. So they're happy that only 8.5 million people saw them say absolutely nothing about a real ISIS strategy. And when it comes to some of the other key issues, they said absolutely nothing about them also. And so while we have heavy hearts, the Democrats continue to pander. They continue to play what I call dodgeball strategy, because more and more people are seeing that their strategy is quite simple. Play upon the ignorance of as many voters as they can. Because what the voters don't know, or what the voters won't demonstrate, is an advantage for the Democrat candidates. You had Bernie Sanders, he's the insurgent socialist presidential hopeful, as we've talked about. And yes, he's picking up some union endorsements. Yes, he's still talking about all of the free stuff that he wants to give away. And yet, when Bernie Sanders was asked during the debate, well, how are you going to pay for it?
We pay for this by demanding that the wealthiest people and the largest corporations who have gotten away with murder for years start paying their fair share.
Gotten away with murder for years. You see, I'm going to describe to you how this is negatively impacting some of our students on college campuses at the top of the hour as part of what happened in Paris suggest about what's happening here, not what's going to happen, what's already happening. Large corporations and wealthy people have gotten away with murder for years. The sad part, some of our young people are buying it. When Hillary was asked who picks up the tab for all of the free stuff she wants to put on the table, like capped drug costs, debt-free college, free public college, and paid family leave, how are you going to pay for it?
I will pay for it by, yes, taxing the wealthy more, closing corporate loopholes, deductions, and other kinds of favorable treatment. And I can do it without raising the debt, without raising taxes on the middle class, and making it reasonably manageable within our budget so that we can be fiscally responsible at the same time.
Well, here again, unfortunately, some people are believing that rhetoric. That is typical political narrative that a lot of people are believing. So we're going to have more about that nothing debate, because we want to illustrate to those who are uncertain as to how shallow and misguided the Democrat candidates are. That's why we're going to do this tomorrow. The only thing that you're going to learn is that they're not fit to be president of the United States of America, even though there are a lot of people that are going to support them anyway. We get that.